Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is me Sayyid Shujatullah, your educator. Today we are talking about an important decision taken by the central government with regard to banning of certain YouTube channels, Instagram channels, X accounts, so and so forth on the aftermath of Pahalgam terrorist attack. You can see in the slide that between October 2024 to April 8, 2025 recently, 130 blocking orders are given by Ministry of Home Affairs. At least 426 notices were served to the various bloggers, YouTubers, Instagrammers. At least 426 notices are issued under the Section 79 3B of IT Act, Information Technology Act. Okay, and more than 1 lakh links, means below the video go to this link, they will be mentioning or not? Yes. So at least 1 lakh links which are related to deepfakes, related to obscenity, related to election related content, all has been removed. These are the important steps taken by the government of India aftermath of Pahalgam terrorist attack. Now the question here is, this particular prohibitory orders or the banning orders of certain YouTubers, certain Instagrammers, certain channels, does it stand a valid point in the light of our Constitution of India? So if this is a very thought-provoking aspect in our life too. Okay, it is very important that what I believe in this scenario, suppose you are given, in the Constitution you are given the freedom of speech and freedom of expression is given, means you can express happiness, you can express dissent, you can express whatever your opinions with regard to a particular topic. You are given that freedom of speech and expression, and when you are expressing this with the help of various social media channels, the government are actually issuing banning orders for certain YouTube channels. Now, Constitution says that you can do, and government say that no, this particular channel should not do. So there is a conflict is there with regard to social media platform, individuals and the organizations who are running it, and the government orders. Now our point here is whether this particular conflict has been solved by the Supreme Court before, or it is something which is newly happening in our country, or is it a direct response to various YouTube channels or Instagrammers who are actually making lot of memes, who are actually making lot of derogatory remarks, who are commenting not so good in the light of national security, in the light of Pahalgam terrorist attack. It is possible that someone is taking this particular incident and trying to compare it with any other incident across the world and trying to justify that particular attack. But you know it very well, my heart says the same thing. When it comes to the national security and national safety of a country, you are not allowed to criticize, you are not allowed to show your dissent, because it is a matter of grief, it is time of grief and pain that the families has been inflicted with. And we should stand with the families of our brother and sister and Indians for sure. And without, if this kind of criticism, this kind of memes, if just go on viral, we will not stand a credibility in front of the international media, will not stand the credibility that government does not take stringent action. Our governance looks very chaos also at this point of time. Okay. So in my point of view, I have already told you that the decision taken by the central government is absolutely amazing. We are not here to actually get that particular, we are not here to hear whatever the YouTubers, Instagrammers are saying, whatever they like to say. When the country is in still pain, 26 civilians are killed is not a small thing at all. First of all, this has to be keep in mind. And if someone of our family would have been there, how your anger will be there, you can understand by yourself. So taking this particular decision is very, very good, even though it transcends constitutional validity. But I will come to that in a bit. Now let us talk about what is the meaning of censorship. Okay. Now let us talk about the various definitions of censorship. Once this particular definition is clear, then you will able to understand the government orders, why they have been given, in light of constitutional validity also. So censorship as such in various legal textbook has been defined as an act made by a statutory body. Nothing but here in our country we are having what? Parliament. It's not a statutory body, but it's one of the organ of constitutional body, you can say. Okay. It is an intentional, deliberate attempt to suppress or prevent. Remember this point. It is an intentional, deliberate attempt or action done in order to prevent any objectionable, offensive information from an individual to the masses. From an individual to the masses, either through writing, either through ideas, either through artistic way. Getting my point? So here, if you are criticizing the government, then it is fine, for example. But if you are abusing, okay, and if you are actually brutally using the various cuss words against the dignitaries, then that particular freedom of speech is not there in our country. So as such, you understood what is the meaning of censorship. It is the act done by or action taken by a legitimate body, intentional, in order to prevent any objectionable, offensive information, either through writing, either through ideastic, either through artistic expression, from individual to the masses, from organization to the masses. Remember this point. This particular definition is very, what I say is that liberal when it comes to what United States censorship thing. Okay. If I go and say you, the United States, how they have defined the censorship, it's very simple and open-ended. Open-ended in the sense is that the censorship definition in America is very wide open for interpretation, and in the light of it, in the disguise of it, various actions can be taken by the country itself. The country which serves as the largest democratic country, the oldest democratic country, if I'm very right here, okay, democratic country which have done elections and always have elected presidents, okay, is an example to the world that how better they are with regard to preserving and conserving the democratic values. Okay, the country having that much of integrity, that much of striving nature with regard to democratic values, see how they have defined their censorship definition. According to American Civil Liberties Union, censorship is defined as a suppression of words. Means if I am speaking something, I will be suppression of words will be there. If I do it, then police people will come and put me in jail. So suppression of words. I cannot do with the images also. Okay. Or ideas that are offensive. Now just imagine the word offensive is very wide open. What do you consider it as offensive? There are no grounds written for it, no traits written for it, no attributes written for it. So just imagine a point, we in India at least have some contours with regard to the definition of censorship, and along with the constitution in our hand, the contours become very rigid also. But with regard to America, you can just see that they have defined the censorship in a very vague term, okay, being an oldest democratic country on the planet. Okay, going ahead, you understood the definition of censorship and you understood the definition of American censorship. Okay, now if I am talking something, whether do I have a right to talk about it? It is properly given in the fundamental rights of our constitution under Article 19A. Article 19A guaranteed every citizen of our country right to freedom of speech and expression. Means I can speak anything I want to, I can express anything I can with the help of images or artistic any kind of painting, etc. I can do that. So Article 19A guarantees me that. But one important point that all of you have to remember, the framers of the constitutions are very well aware that what in the future is going to happen. They are having very good far-sightedness with regard to our country, because the diversity, the hostility across our nation is too large and too big that these kind of things may come into existence. That is the reason our framers of the constitution, especially the father of our constitution, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, has put fundamental rights not as absolute but as qualified. So basically, all the fundamental rights, including the freedom of speech, 19A, has to qualify certain conditions. Then only you are able to do the speech and expression. If you don't qualify that speech, conditions could be like, you should not, when a national security comes into existence, national safety comes into existence, obscenity comes into existence, okay, immorality comes into existence, social disharmony comes into existence, then at that time you are not allowed to speak. But if you are trying to promote goodwill, gratitude, fraternity, brotherhood, cognitive analysis, a very well thought constructive criticism, that is all allowed. But if you're trying to do harm in the society, if you're trying to scold or be brutal and use all the curse words to any of the dignitaries, that kind of grounds are not at all valid in our constitution. That is the reason fundamental rights are not absolute. Means absolute is nothing but you are given 100% authority on it. But it is not like that. We are not given 100% authority, because any YouTuber, Instagrammer can come anytime and start scolding our PM, start scolding our nation, start saying that Pahalgam terrorist attack was nice, etc. We are not a nation to have all that things, right? We are having a very good constitution. We will tame them, we'll nurture them, and we'll make them to say, show that, see, this is not you are going to do in the country like us, which have given a very, very good image to us across the world. So Article 19A says that yes, you are having freedom of speech and expression, but they are in a qualified way. You don't have absolute. Certain qualifications it has to meet when you are talking about the president, prime minister, about the nation, about a particular event like terrorist attack, etc. so and so forth. You cannot be so lenient. You have to make sure that being a YouTuber, Instagram, you have to be sensitive to the people who have lost life, their families, sensitive to the nation's security, etc. so and so forth. You cannot do blah blah all the time. Okay, right. So that is what is there. Now fundamental rights, and now the government acts. Now it looks like it's okay, right? Because what government has taken the step are important in order to preserve the integrity, in order to preserve the fraternity, in order to preserve the social harmony in our country. That is what has been done by the central government by banning that many number of links and websites of various YouTubers. Okay. Now, suppose if I have written something very constructive criticism of the government. Okay. Now government did not like it, even it is constructive criticism. What government will do? Government will ban myself or my YouTube channel. Suppose I have written something in the book, government did not like it and they completely banned the book. Now, according to me, it's not a bad thing that I have written. It is the facts that I have written on the basis of the government functioning over the year. Let us suppose that way. Okay. Now, the same case happened with Ramesh Thapar. He has written a book in Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu government has actually, at the time, Madras, he written a book with regard to the government functioning, etc. so and so forth. So Madras government did not like it at that time and they banned that particular book. Now Ramesh Thapar went to what? Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, after carefully analyzing whatever the contents of the book, has said that the state government has unnecessarily banned this particular book, which is actually not harmful to the social harmony at all. It is all about constructive criticism, like that the Supreme Court has said. Supreme Court also went on to say that if you are having an act which properly defines what is wrong, what is right, what can be censored, what cannot be censored, if you are having a proper law, specific law is there, then you can do that particular thing. But a general act is there. In the general act, you are trying to do the interpretation and trying to leverage the general act in the what I say is that in the harm of the particular individual. We are not going to allow. So the Madras government action was completely declared unconstitutional and void, and the Ramesh Thapar book has been again released. So Supreme Court stand was also very clear at the time. The Supreme Court is not going to actually support the government, not going to ask us. Now at this point of time today, if government has banned the YouTube channel, Supreme Court did not say anything. Okay, at that time, then Supreme Court has said that no, state government. So Supreme Court is actually acting as a checks and balances with regard to the government arbitrary use of power, tyrannical use of power. So we are having the custodian of constitution is nothing but the custodian of rights of the individuals or the citizen of our country is in the hands of whom? Supreme Court only. But at this point of time, everything Supreme Court is hearing and government is also acting which is in the interest of the nation. Okay. Now, there are some specific laws government has enacted in order to make sure that the freedom of speech and expression should not be used in order to create disharmony or in order to create ruckus in the country, such as Cinematograph Act 1952, Information Technology Act 2000, Cable Network Television Act of 1995. These acts defines that what could be censored. Censored is nothing but do not show, cannot be shown to the public, cannot be released in the masses. So these acts have actually made some contours, nothing but boundary of what? Censorship. We also have some regulating bodies which actually review the content that we have written or the cinema that has been made, such as Central Board of Film Certification, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Press Council of India. These are the body which actually scrutinize every other content that falls under the contours of this particular acts and also under the freedom of speech. Then write it to Ministry of Home Affairs, sir, this particular YouTubers or Instagrammer, a newspaper or TV channel are actually going against the various grounds with regard to censorship, various grounds with regard to social disharmony, etc. Then at that time, Home Ministry will take the cognizance of it and will ban that particular YouTubers or Instagrammers or whatever is posted on the X also, any social media platform. I hope this is all clear to you with regard to censorship. Do subscribe to the channel and do share it with all of your friends. Get the knowledge and have abundance of knowledge that becomes one of the important weapon in your life. Take care. Bye-bye. Now, another important point that I would like to share with all of you. Central government has actually empowered state governments also with respect to issuance of notices to various social media platforms. Central government, under the aegis of Home Ministry, has launched one important portal called as Sahyog portal. This Sahyog portal will allow to issue content notices to the social media platforms like Apple, like Google, like X, like Instagram by both central and state governments. So basically, central government has given a stick also to what? State government. You can also do the send the content notices if the state related individuals are actually posting which is very, very disharmonious with regard to the society. This particular act of the government of India has actually anguished, or you can say that has actually made Elon Musk little bit worried. Why? Because you know that he is now the owner of X, the formerly we call it as Twitter. Elon Musk has said that I am not going to join the Sahyog portal because the basis of having this particular X, formerly Twitter, is to share the free speech and free expression across the world. But if you are asking me to take down the content from it, which you seems to be objectionable, I am not going to do that. So Elon Musk X have not joined the Sahyog portal, and they have filed a case in the court and they are fighting in the court, and that court hearing was going on from April 24. So there are some important tycoons, there's important world reputed peoples who are actually against the Sahyog portal, and Elon Musk went on to say that this Sahyog portal is nothing but a censorship portal. Basically, if you get into this portal, it is all about, what I say is that many of the things will get censored and the freedom of speech and expression will be contained to a larger extent. That is what he meant. I hope this is all clear to you. Take care.